So into the room, Barbara.
I think my question is for the general. I wanted to ask on the medical side of this, sir. Could you explain as much as you can about what part of this vaccination program will be voluntary, what part will be mandatory?
Right.
Just as much detail as you can, and especially for high priority categories, for deploying units, for senior leaders. Can you walk us through some of that?
Yes, ma'am. We anticipate that this will be approved using emergency use authorization, not a fully licensed FDA vaccination. And as such, the department's policy will be voluntary for everyone. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Doesn't matter. Voluntary for everyone.
All right.
Does it? I just don't know how this all works. So it starts with emergency use authorization. The vaccination is voluntary for everyone, including deploying units, including high priority units.
Wow.
Does it eventually in some way shift to mandatory once there's full FDA licensure? And how will that on a practical level work? For example, for special operations forces, small units, strategic units, deploying as on a team level, if some people don't get it, don't take the vaccine.
Well, I don't know if Honorable McCaffrey wants to talk to the full licensure aspect and potential for future. The department is strongly encouraging everyone to take it. And the reason for that, if you look at the data that are available to all of us now, that Pfizer, at least the one vendor, has made available to everyone, if you look at the safety profile of it, the safety profile is very good. And the efficacy of the vaccine, again, short time period, appears to be very good. So in a risk stratification, my advice as a physician is that if everything we do in life, every medication that we take, every surgical procedure that we have is all about risk. And the risk of this or these vaccines, from what we know, is much less than the risk of the actual disease process. So our advice to everyone, on a volunteer basis, our advice to everyone is to take the vaccine, just based on risk.
See, Tom?
Making it mandatory.
Well, that's, I think Tom will ask.
So on that question, I think as General Place indicated, this would be the normal process when a vaccine is first issued under emergency use authorization. It's typically on a voluntary basis, so we're going to be consistent with that. As it moves, as FDA looks at the experience of the vaccine, real experience that we're seeing in the population, and they ultimately, assuming they ultimately grant full licensure, at that point, the department would look at that, and based upon, again, risks and benefits, and look at unique requirements from the military departments, from the combatant commands, would make a determination if we believe for military readiness, we should consider, making a fully licensed COVID vaccine mandatory.
Wow.
But there's a process that we use based upon data, based upon the FDA's
Wow.
assessment. But I think the other question you raised was in this interim period where, not all the force is going to be vaccinated in the next month or two, the department's very clear in all of our policy. Everything that we have in place right now in terms of our standard mandatory force health protection guidance in terms of public health mitigation, social distancing, testing before deployments, that will all continue. Even as we, in the early stages of the vaccination effort, we're going to continue all those measures. We have to, because not the entire force, both active duty and civilian, are going to be
So there you have it, Bride. There you have it. When the FDA gives their final approval, that's when they can turn around and make it mandatory. And I will tell you from the Vaccine Congress, that is what they said will have to happen. But it will be close to the end, like in the spring when they have more volume of the vaccine.
Vaccinated. And then I think as General Place indicated, part of our program in terms of communications is everything we can do to articulate to our people that we have great confidence in the FDA's rigor and making determinations about efficacy and safety. And we are going to be, as part of our communication plan, using select key senior leaders to get the vaccination, to demonstrate confidence in that. Much like recently Governor Hogan himself said, that's what he's going to do in terms of getting the vaccination out to the population of Maryland. He's going to demonstrate, yes, this is a safe and effective vaccine, and I'm encouraging everybody to take it.
All right, Dave.
Was your allocation based on the same per capita formula that the states were? And is that 44,000 going to be 44,000 shots in arms, or is it going to be 22,000